Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy White. I'm your host and founder of the Bobby White Foundation. Thank you for joining us. Um, First, we got to thank our producer and the guy behind the scenes, John Gaston with Area 52 Media Group. If you want to do your own show, contact John. Oh, look it. He's a hoot. Yeah, contact John. You won't regret it. I mean, I didn't, even though it took him 10 months to talk me into doing this. And I'm still doing it. So, and also our sponsor, Dylan Gaston with the mortgage firm. Anything mortgages. She's the best out there. I can say that, honestly, because I know. So, um, yeah. 'Cause mortgages and the real estate market, with the way everything is going right now, you really need to have somebody that knows what they're doing to help you, because there's only a couple things that are super high on the like stress and anxiety list, and one is buying your first home and the death of a loved one, and they're almost ranked pretty close. So you need someone like Dylan. So I titled this show Grief and Joy, partly because, and I don't know if I mentioned it last week. I might have. No, I couldn't have. No, I might have. uh, how grief and joy can coexist, but sometimes it's really, really hard. And I've kind of had not really like a whole week of it. It's mostly just been like the last couple days. And I don't know why, because we've got some really great things going on. Oh, like our support groups. The next ones are going to be in November. So November 12th will be the one in Spring Hill. And we partner with Nami Hernando with that one. And then the one in Newport Richey will be November 20th. So, and they're going really well. Actually, yes, was it yesterday? The other day, we have this little paper called the Suncoast News. And sometimes I remember to put stuff in there and sometimes I don't. And usually we don't get the Suncoast News, but evidently a friend of ours called them the other day and pretended to be my neighbor. And we ended up with one in our driveway. And our support group for Newport Richey was listed in there for things that are going on that Thursday. So I was really happy about that. And then we have our walk coming up, of course, and has been taking up a lot of time. Posting on social media. We do have the support group on the Bobby White Foundation Facebook page, that paper there, or that flyer, and it is also on the foundation website. So you can always find those there. And but anyways, so the support groups are going really pretty good. And then we have the walk coming up. When is it? November 8th. We have people signing up through the website. I don't know if John can get there we go. You can go to that QR code will take you right to the web page where you can sign up. You can sign up either as an individual walker. You can start a team. We've got several teams going. I think there's a team for Pasco County Schools District is getting to be a good sized team. Mitchell High Honor Society is a good sized team. You can sponsor the walk. We really need sponsors. You can be a vendor, either for profit or nonprofit. You can volunteer. We've got quite a few volunteers signed up, which is really, really good and going to be very helpful. Or you can even just donate. Um, if you can't, participate, or if you're not local, or, you know, there's so many ways that you can participate and help out. And this is the first one that we're actually doing on our own in Pasco, because there will not be an Out of the Darkness walk. This is the walk, and everybody in our community is really excited about it. I've been doing things that I haven't really done before, and it's getting me out of my comfort zone. And I don't know, maybe part of that is the way that I feel. And I've mentioned before, um, when I'm having difficult times, it's right here. I feel it right here, and it's just something that just doesn't go away. It gets hidden in the background a lot more, or a little more, but that's what I'm feeling today. And it was really, quite honestly, and I didn't, John's just going to hear this for the first time today, but because my notes were late to getting things ready for the show, but I was just having a really hard time. I didn't even know if I was going to do the show today. But I knew that I had to do the show today. And it's kind of like when you want to go somewhere, or you have to go somewhere and you really don't want to go, but then once you get there, you're really glad you did. It's kind of like that. And but it's like we have all this great stuff happening, but I still, and I'm in this kind of like funk today. And I know it'll pass. It'll pass. But and one of the other good things that happened besides our walk, see, this is how I get to you get brain fog. Doing a lot of social media posts for the walk. So I got a list from a friend of mine who she runs another thing that I'm a part of, and she had a list of the Facebook groups and pages in our area and the days that you can post like business stuff. And I think our walk kind of can be posted a little bit differently, but I adhere to the business day postings, except for last week I didn't, because it was special. But so every day, every morning, pretty much, I go in and what day you can post stuff, and post little short things about the walk and the flyer. And I've been doing that for like 2 weeks now. I probably should have started it like way before, but this is the first time that we've done it, and it kind of got dropped in our lap, but in a good way. So once we get over the hump of the first one, I'll feel better. It's going to be fine. I know it's going to be fine. But I think too that I have a little bit of anxiety about it. But it's all good. And like the other day, I was invited to Pasco County Sheriff's Department had kind of like a little connections thing or symposium kind of type thing out at Starkey Community Center. And what they did is and I was invited to be part of it, which was awesome. And because of our relationship, kind of. But what is she? The victims advocate manager, Gina. She's very, very sweet. There's our table at the community thing. And what it was just a bunch of community organizations that are in our community to help our community. So it was a place for everybody to get together, learn about each other's organizations, how we can connect, and just know, each other is out there and we're there to help our community. And it goes along with like what I've said since the inception of the foundation. Not one of us can fix all this stuff on our own. It takes community, and it takes all of us. So we went and sat up there, and I got to see the victims advocate team. They're a great bunch of ladies. I haven't seen them in probably 5 years since I introduced the purple folder to them. It's the last time I've seen them in person. I'm in contact with Gina every once in a while because I always email her and update her with what's going on with the foundation. And she is such a great support of what we're doing and of me. She was one of the victims advocates that came to our house when we lost Bobby. And quite frankly, I didn't even know. And I didn't know her at the time. She was tasked with taking care of the rest of my family. And I got a different victims advocate, which was a young girl. She really had no business being a victims advocate. And 3 months, I found out a few years later that 3 months later she had left. But about 3 years after Bobby died, Gina and I connected, and it was a weird roundabout thing that happened. And the first half hour of our conversation was not real good. But we talked for about an hour, and by the time we got done, everything was all good. And it was just so great seeing her. And all the girls, when I came in, they all remembered me and said hi and everything. And I was able to thank them for referring the people to us. They're doing that a lot more. Unfortunately, and I know that they're referring more people than what we reach, because I do know, I've said before, I get the reports every month of the number of suicides in our community. So I know the number of suicides in our community, and I know how many people reach out to us. And unfortunately, it's not good numbers. And I just wish people would, I don't know. And I don't know if it's, maybe because it is so soon, but, that's why we started this. That's why we started the foundation, is because back when we lost Bobby, which coming up in April, it's hard to believe. It's going to be 10 years. And back then in 2016, there was absolutely, well, I would say there was nothing for the lost survivors. Yeah, sure, there was AFSP, but we didn't find out about it, and I didn't find out about it until 5 or 6 months later, and that was by accident because they were having the walk in Sims Park, but I couldn't attend because I had broken my leg. But basically, there was still nothing, because I didn't even get hooked up with anybody from them for probably another year, if not 2 years. It was a ways afterwards. But anyways, now, there are more resources out there, and we're bringing more resources to people. There was no support group for people like us. Now, NAMI has a support group in Pinellas County that is for suicide loss survivors. We've got our two support groups now. Hopefully, one day soon, we can add another one for the east side of the county because it is so needed. Even though, you know, the majority of the people that are affected by suicide do not reach out for help. And I get it. I do. Because I didn't do it. But my situation, and a lot of that probably came from, what I went through when I lost Michael many years ago and got hooked up with not a good sociologist, and it ended up being a bad situation. But then, like I said, 10 years ago, there were no resources for us. So I was really super happy to see them and spend time with them. And then also, I wish I had the card sitting next to me, but of course I don't. I met these gals that were sitting next to me, and this is kind of why and how it works too. They I don't remember the name of them, but they they have 3 houses for adult women that come from the sex trafficking, which is huge in our area. And one of the gals is going to come up and speak at our Rotary Club, hopefully sometime soon, because that's one of the things too that our district is involved in is human trafficking. And actually, I think one of the clubs out in Wesley Chapel built a safe home for them also. So, and it goes along with our mental health initiatives and all that. But yesterday I had a new customer, and it was weird how this worked because I work by appointment. So yesterday I didn't have any appointments. And when I don't have appointments, I kind of have my day planned. And if it gets interrupted, sometimes I get a little upset about it because sometimes I just need my downtime. And it's not downtime. It's I'm doing stuff around here that I want to do or getting caught up on work. But anyway, this gal called and was trying to explain to me what she had and how she wanted it framed, and she had taken it to other people and they said they can't do it. And so finally I was just like, you know what? Let me rearrange my schedule, and why don't you just come on over here? I'll go open the gates. So she did. And it was weird how these other people couldn't do this job because it wasn't that big of a deal. But anyways, so we're doing the job, and we were talking, and I got my days mixed up yesterday uh, for some reason because I had Rotary on one night, and then we have the support group the next night. Well, when we were talking, I said, or she was coming over, I said, no, I said, we got time. I said, I don't have anything, that's pressing until, tonight I have our support group and, blah, blah, blah. So it was just part of the conversation. So when we got the, excuse me, the framing job all squared away, and she says, can I ask you what your support group is for? And then so I told her. And so she shared with me that she was trying to help somebody out to find a support group who had been sexually attacked. And she's not finding anything. And that really doesn't surprise me because it's, it would be very similar to, trying to find a support group for suicide loss survivors. It's hard. It's very rare. There's not a lot out there. And she wasn't, getting the support from law enforcement and blah, blah, blah. So it dawned on me. I said, well, maybe, I said, I met these people, and I said, it's not quite the same, but it kind of is, and it falls into kind of that realm. I said, maybe these gals from the sex trafficking community might have some resources for her. That's how it works. So I gave her the information, and hopefully she'll reach out. But then again, she said that, with what has happened, she's not so sure her friend will reach out now. And I think because of the lack of concern or support that there is. I don't know. So I'm hoping, and I'm always hopeful, sometimes beyond what I should be, but I am, that maybe this connection will be able to help her. I really hope so. So that's part of that. So we did too. We started, last week, our Don't Bottle It Up campaign, and we pushed everything out on social media on the 10th, which was World Mental Health Awareness Day, and was received, I think, really pretty well in our community and in our Rotary community. And like I said, this isn't just a Rotary thing. It's a community action group, and so this is Bob. He's our bartender at the Elks Lodge, where our Rotary Club meets. And so, see, on his, we have, now that's the wrong one, and that's not John's fault. That's my fault. I know that we put on his, we changed his, and I put the wrong one up. But anyways, he's still part of the Rotary Club. That's what we think. But on his real one that I had redone, it has the Elks Lodge, and that's what he's a member of. So I just noticed that. I was going through so fast trying to find him. But anyway, so anybody can participate in this campaign with us. It's we're doing it for our district, 6950, and it's just really a great thing. And I showed him the picture last night, and he was just like, "Oh wow, that looks really good," and it does. It was really nice. It was really super cool. So we're getting down, and I really want to get this video out, and hopefully it works. We've been having some technical issues, but this is a video of Prince William that took place this past week. It's a very emotional video, and I'm hoping it'll work, because it's going to take us down to like right at the end of our time, I think, if we have time to do it. I don't know. John could tell me maybe we don't have time to do it. I don't know. If it works, fingers crossed. I don't know. There.
So nice to see you.
This morning, the Prince of Wales showing raw emotion. Rhiannon Manning lost her 1-year-old son to a sudden and undiagnosed illness in 2012. Her husband, Paul, unable to cope with the loss, took his own life 5 days later.
It's really difficult to explain how grief feels. Emptiness, physical pain.
If you could say something, or wanted to say something to Paul, what would you have said?
There's only one thing I would ever say to him if I had time with him, and that would be, why didn't you speak to me? We would have been okay.
A devastating turn that left Prince William, who suffered loss himself with the death of his mother, Princess Diana, fighting back tears.
You okay?
I'm sorry, it's hard to ask you questions that
I
know.
Hard,
no,
and
it is.
You've experienced loss yourself.
It's okay.
The raw emotion, just the latest example of Prince William's willingness to show vulnerability in public.
I'd say 2024 was the hardest year I've ever had.
The last coming over a pint with actor Eugene Levy, where the heir to the throne opened up about supporting both his wife, Catherine, and his father, King Charles, in their cancer journeys.
Trying to sort of balance protecting the children, Catherine, my father needs a bit of protection, but it's important my family feel protected and have the space to kind of process a lot of the stuff that's gone on last year.
And how his own children coped with their mother's cancer diagnosis.
And we're a very open family, so we talk about, things that bother us and things that trouble us. But you never quite know the knock-on effects it can have.
And it's not just William who's talking about the hard subjects in public. Princess Kate also has a new...
So, I saw this. Actually, I saw it the first time before it came on the Today Show in the UK. So, this is just an example of we need to speak up. We need to be not afraid to talk about the hard stuff. I mean, we know it's tough. But I was really moved and touched by his interview and partnering with organizations over there to help people with grief. And yeah, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. And if you don't have to be somebody famous. Look at me. Come on. We just don't be afraid to talk. That's how we help each other. And I need it too. That's what I got my neighbor for. So I got John on the other side of this for. It is what it is. So let's get to my quote for today, which is, sometimes I just have to stop, close my eyes, and just hug you, even if it's only in my mind. That's just kind of how I feel right now. But I'll feel better soon. I know I will. But yeah, it's just hard. So make sure you keep these numbers in your phone. Have them memorized. That's really not hard. 988. Anybody that you know that may be having a hard time, it's not just a crisis line, it's a lifeline. And even if it's you, but you could be the one. You could be just the one, and it doesn't take a lot to help and give hope to that one person. You have no idea how much that'll mean. So just always remember, see that? I do that always. That behind me. There is always hope. So take care. Thanks.